You know that feeling in a meeting? The one where a senior leader throws out an idea and everyone just nods. No questions asked. It's almost like the idea is treated as gospel. Well, that little workplace habit has a name. It's called authority bias. And it is a sneaky, sneaky cognitive shortcut that can absolutely derail even the smartest teams. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how it works, and more importantly, how you can fight it.
Let's just start with this one really simple but kind of scary question. What happens when the expert, the boss, the high-priced consultant is just flat out wrong? This is the exact moment, the exact scenario where authority bias kicks in and does its damage. So yeah, let's dive in.
All right, first up, let's talk about what I call the dangerous deference. This is all about that automatic nod we give to authority and why, just going along with it can be so incredibly risky.
So, what is this thing, really? Well, authority bias is basically our brain's default setting to put way too much trust in the opinion of someone we see as an authority figure. It's when we hear their idea and just accept it as fact, without ever hitting the pause button to ask, wait a minute, does this actually make sense?
And here's how it plays out at work, every single day. A senior leader suggests a new strategy, or maybe a big-name consultant makes a bold recommendation. What's the team's first reaction? It's not to question the idea, it's to find data that proves the idea is right. We start working backward, and that's when things get dangerous.
Now, this isn't just some interesting psychological quirk, okay? This bias has a very real and often very expensive shadow that it casts over a business. Let's take a look at credibility's costly shadow.
I mean, think about this scenario. A top executive is convinced that a new sales strategy is the future based on, their gut feeling. Instead of the analytics team digging in and stress testing that idea, they feel this immense pressure to make the numbers work. So maybe they tweak a model here or adjust an assumption there just to find data that supports the executive. And just like that, evidence has left the building. And would you just look at the difference here? It's night and day, right? When authority is driving the bus, you end up with flawed strategies, you miss huge risks, and you just burn through resources. But when evidence is in the driver's seat, you get validated insights, efficient growth, and you actually manage your risk. The two paths could not be more different.
Oh, here's another one that probably sounds familiar. A famous consulting firm comes in and says, "You guys have to get this new data platform. It's so tempting to just trust them, isn't it? I mean, they're the experts." And so the company signs this massive contract without ever stopping to do the hard work of figuring out if this tool is actually the right fit for their specific problems.
And the outcome is, well, painfully predictable. The rollout is a total mess, it costs a fortune, and at the end of the day, it doesn't even deliver the promised value. That expert recommendation led straight to a bad investment, all because nobody felt empowered to just stop and question the authority in the room.
Okay, so we get it, we know what it is, and we know why it's so bad. But the tricky part is, how do you know if it's actually happening on your team? Let's talk about how to spot this bias out in the wild.
And I'm asking you directly, does any of this ring a bell? Think about your last few big project meetings. Can you honestly say your team is guided by evidence, or is it quietly deferring to whoever has the fanciest job title?
So here are the red flags to watch out for. Number 1, ideas from senior folks get an instant green light, no debate needed. Number 2, when someone does ask a tough question or raises a concern, they're kind of seen as being difficult or not a team player. And number 3, you look back and see a clear pattern where, time and time again, a leader's opinion has beaten the hard evidence.
But here's the good news. You can absolutely fight back against this bias. It isn't easy. It definitely takes real, intentional work. So in our final section, let's look at what it takes to build a truly evidence-first culture.
This quote right here says it all. This should be your team's mantra. Just because someone is an authority, that does not mean their ideas get a free pass. Every single claim, it doesn't matter if it comes from the CEO or the new intern, it has to be able to stand up to rigorous, tough, evidence-based analysis. Period. So how do you actually make this happen? Well, here are 3 habits to build. First, make it a rule. Validate every claim. I don't care who it came from. Second, get disciplined about documenting the why behind every big decision. This forces the logic out into the open for everyone to see. And third, you have to create a space where it is normal and, more importantly, safe for people to critique each other's ideas. The end goal here is to completely change the way your team talks. You want to get away from conversations that sound like, well, the boss thinks we should do this. You want to move to a world where the standard conversation is,
Okay, what does the data say? What evidence do we have that supports this direction? That's the culture you're shooting for.
So we've covered what authority bias is, the real damage it can cause, and how you can start to build a culture that's resistant to it. And all that brings us to our final thought.
If you take away just one thing today, please let it be this. Being truly data-driven is not about having fancy dashboards or expensive analytics tools. It's a mindset. It is the active, constant discipline of questioning assumptions, especially the ones that come from a source you trust and respect.
And so I'll leave you with a challenge. In your next meeting, on your next big project, I want you to ask yourself this one simple question. It might just be the most important and the most valuable question you ask all week.